not believe in the Constitution.
So you're saying there's sort of a separating of the wheat from the chaff in the military ranks to find who will actually fire on American citizens? Is this what your source believes?
That's exactly what the source believes, and his fear is that the American public are going to be victimized to an ideology that is far from American. In fact, what he has expressed to me very clearly is that the moves that this man has made, Obama has made, clearly show that he does not understand the American psyche or the American culture. It's not what he is. It's not. You begin to wonder: is the man even American?
Well, are you saying that he's just detached from the American culture? Our own president?
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen very carefully to what he says. You would think you were sitting in a socialist, Marxist indoctrination program in some university.
Now, I want to ask a question here about your friend, because he's obviously seeing what's happening in the United States. Is it similar to developments in other countries that have descended into dictatorship?
Oh, this is the pattern. It is the pattern. What has been totally unexpected, though, was that the media would play such a large role as a cheerleader rather than as being the fifth estate, the examining arm of the public, exposing the things that are wrong. But what you have seen is a failure on the part of that media to do just that, to bring out the facts. They have become more an arm of the government, an arm of the propaganda mill of Obama and crew.
You're speaking of the national media syndicate?
Yeah, the mainstream media, I think you call them.
Well, let's talk about the dictatorship for a moment, because the American people probably don't see what could be this dictatorship. Do you think that this dictatorship is simply wrapped in the red, white, and blue, Chevrolet, apple pie?
Well, it seems to be, but the moves themselves, never listen to the words of Obama. Watch what he does. If you're sucked into believing the rhetoric, believing the propaganda, then what you're doing is you're looking at the left hand while the right hand's stealing your pocket, stealing what's in your pocket. And that's quite deliberate. It's a Barnum and Bailey huckster style, and that's what you see with Obama. He very clearly is one of the great communicators when he's got his teleprompter working, and so there's magic there. But the minute you start to watch what he does, you put aside the rhetoric, watch what's done. The two are antithetical to one another. And his voice of reason and his patriotic stance just fades.
Doctor, in his second inaugural address, Obama finally abandoned any pretense of moderation, openly embracing collectivism and treating the Constitution as a quaint relic. Does this suggest that he has consolidated power to the point where he can be candid about his ideological intentions?
Yeah, it's interesting when you looked at when he ran for election the first time, and then somewhat differently in the second occasion. The first time he was selling something, and he was selling sizzle all over the place. He used the great rhetoric and the great words that bespoke patriotism and love of family and love of just America generally. He spoke those things, but now that he's no longer trying to sell something, he is now in a position where he can ram whatever he wants through. And so now what you're seeing is the beginning signs of a despot. What he did in that speech was remarkable, because he threw aside all of the niceties and proclaimed very clearly that he was a progressive socialist, and to all of America without blemish and without embarrassment. And so I think you no longer have a warning about what he could be. You now have full in your face a declaration of what he is.
Doctor, if America's turn towards dictatorship is as advanced as your source believes, why hasn't the national media warned the public about the danger?
Well, it's as if, for them, the national media, as if they're listening to a dream. It's their dream come true. It's what they practiced. It's what they learned when they were in journalism school, when they went to university and they learned to become socialists and Marxists. The dogma that they're hearing is one that they're well versed in, they believe in totally, and Obama is merely their spokesman. So why would you question something that was in fact the thing that you really believed in? Obama is presenting a lifestyle, a worldview that is totally different than the good Christian parent, father of a family, who is just as fresh as apple pie and ice cream. That's no longer what you're seeing. He's thrown it aside, and the cheerleaders now, instead of examining very carefully what he has said in the past, which is entirely different than what he is saying and proclaiming now, if they really examined it and showed the public that they in fact could be what they should be, the safeguarders of liberty, you'd see a different reaction. But in fact, they are, at the best, to describe them would be to say that they're cheerleaders for Obama and apologists.
In your career as an educator, Dr. Garrell, you have worked with the children of high-ranking Communist Party officials in China. You know many members of the country's ruling elite on a very personal basis. Do you see any similarities between their worldview and that of the Obama-era administration?
Yes, but if this was a mutual admiration society where the communists and the socialists in China were looking at Obama and thinking, wow, isn't it wonderful that this new American leader is bringing the communist revolution to his own country? That'd be one way to look at it. But in fact, it is only Obama's view of China and the socialism there and the communism there, the collectivism, now that the word is out, progressive collectivism. In his view, that is admirable. That is something to be looked not only at, but copied and brought into being in America. But the Chinese have a totally different view of Obama himself personally, who they call Monkey Man, by the way, on the street, and they deride him. He's held as a joke. He's also looked at as a traitor because very much the communists believe in one thing: you're loyal to your country, and they see him as a traitor to his own country. So there is no respect. Obama loves China. He loves what he sees there. The Chinese do not like, in fact, they despise Obama.
So the average Chinese citizen on the street believes that our president is a traitor to the United States.
Yes, yes, absolutely. The ones who understand the ideology of capitalism and the ideology of a free republic, and studying the work of the founding fathers of the United States and the Federalist Papers, because they do, by the way, in their classes, take this in universities. They understand what really is America. And when